Straw Hut Media.
Hey, I'm Richard Kind. Don't be alone with Jay Kogan.
Don't be alone with Jay Kogan.
Hi, people. It's me, Jay Kogan, and it's time once again for Don't Be Alone with Jay Kogan, where I have very interesting people come on and talk about my problems. A lot of great feedback from you people, and I would really appreciate more. So please write to me at dbawjk@gmail.com, and I will answer your questions that you have for me there, or you can write questions that we will talk about with our guests. I would appreciate all of that. Please join in, and I really created the show so that we would create a community, so I would like to hear from the community, even if the hearing it is, hey, do something different. I want to hear that too. Anyway, welcome, and I'm glad you're here. Today, I'm going to be talking with Richard Kind, the great actor Richard Kind. He's a very funny guy. He's a guy I've known for many years, very unique character, and people know him. People know of him and know who he is. He's one of the great character actors of our age, but he's also a good friend and somebody who's very, I will say, authentic. He's a kind of guy who walks into a room and says something like, I don't like their shirt, or he'll say something like, I heard you just got divorced. Something that we might consider not saying right away. He'll say it and he doesn't get in trouble for it. That's the thing. He's authentic. He says who he is, and he says what's on his mind, and people appreciate him for it. For me, I'm afraid if I said something like that, people would hand me my ass or never call me or never talk to me, and I don't want that. I want to be liked. I want to be loved. And I'm afraid that if I say everything on my mind, that I won't be loved. So Richard's going to tell me how he gets away with it. Maybe that will help me figure out how I can get away with it too. Because ultimately, wouldn't it be great to just say what's on your mind? I kind of think it would be, but maybe it wouldn't be. Anyway, we'll talk to Richard, who is, as we say, you'll know him from his work on Mad About You and Curb Your Enthusiasm and Spin City, Bewitched, and the voice in A Bug's Life and the Cars franchise. And he was also in A Serious Man, the Coen Brothers movie. He's done a million things, and he's been on Broadway, and the producers, you'll recognize him immediately. And I know him from many years of playing poker with him and having a lot of mutual friends, and he's adorable. You'll like him. So we'll be right back with Richard Kind.
Don't be alone with Jay Kogan.
I wanted to say that I shaved for you.
Okay, I appreciate
for
that.
this. That's
Yes.
how much I adore you.
Will we be making out later? Because I don't know.
On one camera.
Okay.
my good side.
All right.
I don't want all angles because I don't trust the editing.
Had I known, I would have done a little something with the beard. Beard burn is an issue for the gals, the ladies. Okay, well, first of all, I want to thank you for being here.
Richard Kind.
TV's
Yes.
Richard Kind.
Yeah, right.
TV's and movies Richard Kind.
And I like to say plays too.
And
I run
theater,
all.
but you know.
Mel Brooks's granddaughter
Yes.
wants to do a documentary about me.
Okay,
Great. Okay.
that's great.
No, that's not great.
Why not? Doesn't mean you're.
It's a little self-referential. If I
Right.
even say yes to it, it
Right.
means, hey, look at me, look what I've done.
Kaminsky? What? Who? Which granddaughter? Which?
No, her name is Samantha Brooks.
Brooks, okay,
but
so
it's not. It's Susie Watts' stepsister because I think it's from the first marriage.
All right.
But she's very funny.
Yes.
And her boyfriend's very funny. And then also somebody's involved who, I don't know how much I want to talk about them,
Right.
whatever. But he happens to be from comedy. So the third party happens to be related to comedy royalty.
That's right.
Our comedy royalty.
Okay.
Not the Hollywood. A master. And I'll tell you after, because I don't know whether I want to say it on air.
All right. Well,
unless
we're on
unless-
air right. Assume we're on air right now.
Yeah, because you can't edit it.
Well, we can.
You can.
It's not-
so I could say it, but I don't.
I can start at any time. I can say we're starting now.
I know, but I know we're starting now, but you're not going to edit the name.
We can
if I
edit
were to
it
say
out.
that. I know you can, but I can't trust you. I'm
Okay.
kidding. Or they could read my lips.
They can read-
Anyway, let's talk about me. So they want to do this thing.
Yes. Right.
And we shot a sizzle reel. And I said, look, if we can make it funny
Right.
and give it some sort of a twist, a hook, something that's different. And they found it.
Oh, great.
They found it, and it's great. It's
Good.
a great idea.
Okay.
I may need your suggestions, advice.
Happy to do it.
when we're finished.
All right, I'm happy
It's
to do
very,
it.
very funny. You'll get a kick out of what it is.
I'll tell you something right away. Already,
Yes.
something. First of all, Richard Kind. I've already given you an introduction. You haven't seen it, but I've already given you an introduction about how talented you are, how many things you've done, and how much I love you. But
Please let me hear it. I'm kidding. Go
Let's talk more about the reason you're here.
Yeah,
the
go
main
ahead.
reason you're here is I talk about things that are on my mind and things that bother me. The show is about Don't Be Alone with Jake Hogan, and it's about issues I'm having. And I seek the help of people who I think have a good handle on this particular issue. And for you, I wanted to talk about authenticity because you're one of the most authentic guys I know. You speak your mind.
Really?
You say stuff. Sometimes you put your foot in it, but you say stuff.
I do.
So you say stuff that's on your mind. You are
do.
authentically Richard Kind.
I am not good at editing.
Right.
You are correct.
You are Richard Kind. And one of the things about your career is you're Richard Kind. Like, in other words, you're an actor and you inhabit characters, but a lot of it's you. And a lot of it's...
That's very true.
Right.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Somebody like Daniel Day-Lewis, here's Daniel Day-Lewis,
Right.
here's the character, they never meet. You don't
That's
know
right.
what the hell. Do me a favor, is there any way, because I can see me on that screen, either turn the screen, thank you.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah, I
on
understand.
radio, I
Sure.
can see a radio and I
Right.
go, oh, I know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for interrupting everything. That's good. That's fine. I can't edit
But I
that
have
out.
to, but it's
I
me.
can't edit that out.
But
I know,
it's
that's
me.
the problem.
That is me.
You're
I'm
authentically you.
I'm upset about that.
Right.
So move it.
Right, that's fine.
What
And you're
would,
saying-
why should I sit here having to look at me?
You shouldn't.
Every time I look at me on screen,
you know
I go,
who else-
what have you chosen? What profession have
You
you
know
chosen?
who else screams about the camera off to the side? Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis would sit there and go, what the hell is that camera doing? I don't need to see myself. But he'd say it in the voice of Abraham Lincoln.
Right. Okay. So that's what these
All right.
guys do.
Right.
De Niro, all
Yeah.
of those. I do meet the character halfway.
Yeah.
I get there. My mouth. I can't move my mouth any differently.
And I think you're cast
than this.
because of who you are a lot of the time.
When we're finished with
Yes.
this, I'm going to send you something.
All right.
Then okay, it's me a little bit. Here, I'm taking out money because I don't like to have.
You don't
it
have
in
to
my
pay me
pockets.
now. Pay me later.
A thing called Hitman, based
Yep.
on you know who Lawrence Block is, the mystery writer.
No.
Great mystery writer.
Yep.
From the 70s, 80s, 90s, primarily. Brilliant guy. But pulp fiction type of mystery stories. I shouldn't say that. I think he wrote To Live and Die Alone. No, he wrote... Okay. Anyway, he's a great writer. He wrote
So far, just so you know, Richard, so far, all of this is cut out. Every single thing. There's nothing you said so far.
Once I start getting interesting, we're going
to go
in
right
there.
back in. But so far, everything has been cut out.
So Lawrence Block wrote a series of books called Hitman.
Yes.
About a hitman who lives in New York, could look like me,
Right.
walk down the street. He doesn't look
Right.
so tough. And
Sure.
And he, like a mechanic will fix a car or a plumber will fix plumbing.
This is his job.
That's his job.
I know.
And it's he's very amoral about it. He just understands if he doesn't do it, somebody else will. It's a wonderful series of books. I think Jeff Bridges had the rights to it. They elapsed.
Okay.
Then I found out George Clooney had the rights to them.
Right.
I didn't even know.
Okay.
And he's a good friend of mine.
Yes, he is.
And those lapsed.
Uh-huh.
So nobody was going to make it. Elias, who was a wonderful director and writer, but that's not his profession, but he loves doing it. Talked to me about one of my favorite movies. We talked about Chinatown. I think it's a perfect script. He wrote a detective story for me.
Right.
It was a 20 to 30 minute short film with the hopes of making a TV series.
Right.
It was a very good short film, played the festivals, got a lot of awards, but it wasn't going to go anywhere. But he used that to show to Lawrence Block, and he got the rights for free, I think, to make Hitman
Fabulous.
with me because Lawrence Block liked my performance,
Right.
and he thought that Elias was a good filmmaker. We're in talks to do that as a series, and
Okay.
I pray
We've been
it
here
gets
for, I don't know, 2 minutes. You've already talked about how good your performance was somewhere.
done. Somebody has to.
So that when our poker games,
But-
one of the things of our poker game is imitations. You're well imitated by everyone. And when I was a wonderful Harold Hill.
Right. Okay.
Right.
But I will tell you when I'm not good.
Maybe.
Like you say,
Right.
I am
Authentic. You're
transparent,
gonna say what
authentic.
But I don't think you're often not good. So that's.
Oh, there are times.
Of course there are
You
times.
should see me on the golf course. When I hit a great shot.
How-
Wow!
Yes.
Oh my gosh! Look at that shot.
Right.
I don't care where it ends up. I hit it properly. You'll hear me. Most people. God damn it!
Right, they scream at each other. Yeah.
I do the same thing. You know, I don't do that, but I go, gee. But when I hit a good shot,
Right.
you're going to hear it.
Right.
Applause should be heard, and boos should be heard.
And I'm going to say two things. One is, congratulations. I hope this thing becomes. I would love to see you be a hitman.
Yes. Okay.
You'd be a great hitman. I'm writing something kind of similar right now, not about a hitman, but just about a guy whose job it is to be a fucking mobster, and it's not a guy you'd think would be a mobster.
Is it a comedy?
No.
Mine either.
Yeah.
Well, you got to see mine, and you know, okay. But should you see it?
Sure, I would absolutely say it. I was in a movie. Called Cold Blooded, where Jason Priestley was a hitman, an unlikely hitman. Unlikely hitman. Yes.
Okay.
And I was killed. I was shot in the head by Jason Priestley.
Oh, okay.
It was one of my. It's my finest role. My finest role.
Did you have many lines?
I had not many lines, but enough, and I got shot and killed in the movie, and I do it well. And that's very hard.
Okay.
But here's the reason why I'm talking to you about authenticity and about Richard Kind's authenticity is because I don't think I have that bravery to be as authentic as you are. And that's why you're here. You're here to discuss how you have the wherewithal. And I know it's parts of nature, but it's also just who you are to just be able to say whatever you're thinking and know you're not hurting people's feelings.
That's very true. Very true. Okay, I will tell you, because I thought about this, because you said that's what it was. But you didn't use the word authenticity or authentic, which is a very nice compliment. But this is the thing. I am an actor with a huge ego and no self-confidence.
No self-confidence.
I don't have much self-confidence, but I have a huge ego. I get scared whenever I'm going to do anything.
Right.
But that ego, when I am giving an opinion, I'm right.
Right.
And I will sing it to the stars.
So how is that not self-confidence?
It's ego. I just say it's
All right.
ego.
Because we're playing...
Let's talk about Lisa Kudrow,
yes,
who I saw yesterday.
Lisa will be a guest on this show.
You could talk to her about this thing. She is, quote unquote, famously there's a thing on YouTube where she gives a graduation speech.
Yes.
And she talks about me. Mm-hmm. And when she lost that role on Frasier, on the pilot of Frasier, was replaced.
Right.
Supposedly, and I don't exactly remember it, but I can see me saying this. How do you get up in the morning? After losing that role, how do you go out and face it? I don't understand.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
You think so too?
Yes.
She doesn't take it like that.
Okay.
What I meant was, look, and this is how she took it.
Right.
And it must have been at the time.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen it.
Right.
God bless you for having the strength to know how good you are, that you can get up in the morning and be strong and know I did not fail. They just didn't want me for this.
Right. That's not what you said. That's not what you said. I know that she understood it.
But at the time, that's how she took it.
Right.
And I believe, as you said,
right. That's how you meant it.
That's what I may have said it. That's why I don't like texts. That's why I don't like emails. I still like the telephone.
Right.
You can hear in my voice what I'm saying.
Right.
And I'm saying, my gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know how you can get up in the morning. That must be so difficult. But you know how talented you are.
Right.
Here's something else that I remember telling her. She had guested on Mad About You. I was on at the time.
Sure.
It was before Friends.
Yep.
And I said, and she was going to go on Conan's show, who she knew very well, playing a part. And she didn't know whether she should do it. Mm-hmm. And I said, no. When you go on Conan's show, you go on as Lisa Kudrow. If they want to use that character's name being Lisa Kudrow, go ahead. Mm-hmm. But I think she was going to be a waitress or something like that. I said, no.
Right.
Go on as Lisa Kudrow.
That's great advice.
I know.
That's great advice.
It's great advice.
That's great advice.
That's my opinion.
That's great advice.
But So one is bad advice, or one is a bad statement, one's a good advice. They're all out there. That's what I do.
I know, but I'm saying that particular thing is beautiful and great advice. If I had a failure, and I have had many failures, and you say to me, how do you get up in the morning? I don't know that I would hear all the brave stuff and how great you are and all that kind of stuff built into it. But you knew Lisa would hear it that way.
I'm going to go through a list.
Right.
I was thinking of something, but now here's a worse one. This is a horrible one.
Tell me the worst thing.
This is horrible.
Okay, horrible.
But I still don't think it's horrible.
All right, but tell me.
Hank reminds me this story. Right. Kristen Johnston, great actress, brand new to acting and everything like that.
Right.
Is being represented, I think, maybe by Hank's manager, or we go out with her manager. I remember we were downstairs. We were at Joe Allen's. Hank was there, myself, and I think her manager, or maybe Hank's manager.
There's a lot of managers at this meal.
Okay, it could have been Hank's, or it could have been hers.
Okay.
We're at the table, and she's saying she's going out to L.A. I go, you're going to do great in L.A. You're going to do fantastic because you're so beautiful and you're so talented, but you're not a typical beauty.
Okay.
I think that's okay too.
Yeah.
It's like you're beautiful, but you're not.
See, I hear that as an actual compliment. I hear that as a compliment. But they
took it as, oh my God. Right. Or, you're so pretty, but you're not that typical pretty.
Well, first of all, she's 7 feet tall.
It doesn't, I didn't bring that up. She could do nothing about that.
But every woman is fraught with their own extra insecurities, even more than we. And so when you say you're not a typical beauty, what they hear is ugly.
That's correct.
Right.
And that's what everybody at the table heard.
Right.
And I'm going, you're so good. You're a character actress. You're a leading act, but you're not the typical beauty that we would say. Taken as an insult. Okay. All right.
Let me stop you.
Okay.
Let's go back. Let's dig deeper into this. So you have this thing to say. You say this to Kristen and everybody at the table. Do they react immediately?
Immediately.
Okay, immediately. And they start screaming at you. And you're saying like, I didn't mean it that way. I meant it the good way. And then how do you get out?
I backpedal. Okay, I'm right.
Okay.
I am right.
Right. But even though you're right, you're going to backpedal.
Because she's hurt.
Right.
I only backpedal because she's hurt.
Right.
But I was right.
All right.
Okay. And it came to fruition.
Yes.
It absolutely did.
No, she's very good.
Now, the reason why I like all of this stuff is because I go to a therapist mostly on how to be a good father and how to deal with my kids. Yeah. And then we delve into me and then but I tend to be a father who likes to give advice and learn a lesson. And here's the moral. My kids don't read my texts anymore.
Right.
The minute I start on it, Dad, stop.
Right.
And my therapist says, let them be.
Right.
They will get there. They might make mistakes.
They will make mistakes.
So, for instance, my daughter, because of COVID and because of situations, will never live in a dormitory at college.
Okay.
That's heartbreaking to me.
All right.
Because I think every kid who goes to college should live in a dorm.
Where's she going to college?
Well, she went to Northwestern, but her first year, she was not there.
Okay.
She was in North Carolina in an apartment, never stepped foot on campus.
Right.
When she became a sophomore, she lived in a dorm in a single, and I don't get me started on that.
Okay.
And she left after the first semester because she just needed to take that year off.
Okay.
She went back. She didn't like Northwestern, transferred to American in Washington, D.C., and got an apartment.
Okay. You know who went to college and never lived in a dorm? Jake Hogan.
Well,
never lived in a dorm.
Why?
I went to UCLA because I wanted to be an actor and stuff, and I lived too close to the campus. UCLA said, we're not giving you a dorm. Your house is 5 miles from campus. The dorm is for people who don't have places to live. And so I never got one.
They told you weren't.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow me. I wanted to live in a dorm. I wanted that experience you're talking about. And I couldn't get it.
That's awful.
Yes. Well, but you know.
And you could have paid for it. Your parents would have paid for the dorm.
Yeah, I wound up paying for an apartment separately nearby. Yes, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's all right.
But you regret not having a little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You don't know, and you
don't know.
turned out
It's
fine.
fine.
Everything.
It's fine.
My daughter will turn out
Right.
fine.
The main thing I want to say though about all this stuff is you don't need to have regret for her if she doesn't have regret. In other words,
That's what my therapist
you don't
says.
need to. But it's
So,
so
or
obvious.
here's how she put it: your experience is not her experience.
Absolutely.
And if my son stays in on a Saturday night or doesn't like parties as much, he says he doesn't love them like he I mean, he goes out and he's a good-looking kid, everything. He's successful with with friends, many friends. But I'll call him on a Saturday night. He hasn't gone out. I go, Max, why don't you go? Let him be. He didn't want to go out.
Right.
Parties, he can't talk at parties. They're too loud.
I'm
Doesn't
with
like
him.
them.
I'm
I
with
know.
him.
I'm not.
No, I know.
And I got the voice to prove
Right,
it.
I
Because,
understand.
But I'm still filled with advice. Now,
Can you just
yes.
if I'm pretend I'm Skylar, pretend I'm Dad.
Mm-hmm.
I turned in a report and I got a C and I really wanted an A, and it's just I tried really hard.
Oh,
and
that's perfection to me.
and
Oh, I don't give a goddamn.
okay. Do you give advice after that, or just sit with
No.
her feelings?
No, I congratulate her. I said you tried as hard as you could.
Right.
That is then I raised
Back
you
up
well.
one step.
Okay.
She's sad. Can you be sad with her for a second and say, like, I hear what you're saying and I understand what you're feeling, but let me then tell you how proud I am.
Yeah. I'll say, gosh, I'm sorry. You tried so hard. I'm sorry you got a C.
Yeah.
You really wanted to do well. I'm sorry.
But
I
that's
love.
that moment.
Yes.
That moment of connection. That's everything.
I can absolutely do that.
Yes.
But the thing is that there are other things where I just always give advice. Okay, now in the shower today, thinking about what I was going to say, I've got examples of my not hubris, but my elevations of opinions.
Sure. And I will say this. Not a time that we didn't play poker where you didn't criticize somebody's playing. You say, how'd you go in with that?
Yes.
You would shout your opinion about whether you win or whether you lose.
And now I'm wrong. I will admit that I'm wrong.
No, it's not wrong. That's part of your charm.
It
and
is,
again,
it is.
I
Why
wouldn't,
would you- yes,
I
why
wouldn't
would you know?
sit with 40 other people who would do that, but I would sit with you. And this is what I'm saying
You
have this thing. And I think if I really spoke my mind, if I truly said to everybody, that shirt doesn't look good on you, or
I would say that.
I have a doll. I have a doll here made by our friend Steven Weber.
Yes.
And
For someone who works out, you don't look that good.
Oh, right.
well, for someone who works out, you don't look that good.
Craig, I remember
right?
saying that,
Okay,
yeah.
these are things that you've said. Okay, this is a doll. Your friends made this doll. Your friend made this doll. Okay, that's how authentic you are. You have a doll that says kind of insulting things.
I know, but it's not. I know.
You know, but you don't mean it. You have the kindest heart, but you are willing to say the stuff on your mind, and you've spent what must be a lifetime getting away with it.
I have.
Okay, so
I have.
Now, then give me that secret. What is that
But I want to give you 3 other examples.
Give me more examples. Fine.
that are not personal.
All right.
I remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger came out with a poster years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, this poster will be bigger than Farrah Fawcett's, which was the biggest thing
Right.
at the time. And my reaction was, what an idiot. What a fucked up idiot that he's going to be like that. Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger went on to be
Right.
one of the biggest movie
Sure.
stars of all time, married a Kennedy,
Right.
and became governor of California.
But how did the poster sell?
I'm an
Right.
idiot.
Okay. No. You're entitled to your opinion, and we're all
That's
wrong.
my opinion, but I'll say it aloud.
Yeah. Being right or being wrong isn't really the point. Because we're all going to be right and going to be wrong.
But I say it. I say it aloud.
Yeah.
How do I do it? I think it's my ego.
Yeah.
I think it's my ego.
Okay.
So
How did you grow up? Who gave you that ego that said, "Hey, you know what?
Oh,
I got things to say and people want to hear it."
and you want to know something? I know that you don't say everything you want to. I've seen you.
Not say stuff.
Yes. I've heard you stop yourself.
Okay.
I've seen you.
Did it hurt you that I stopped myself, or did you think, I wonder what he was going to say and how horrible that would have been?
No. In thinking back on it, and I haven't seen you in years, but I'm thinking of those things. Some people might call it polite. Some might call it non-intrusive.
Scared. Now, I don't want to hurt people's feelings.
I never think of you as scared.
All right.
I think of you as, let it out. I'm Leo Bloom.
Right.
I'm Leo Bloom.
Right.
That's what it is.
Okay.
I'm Max Bialystock. I'm more. My son saw producers, the original, and texted me. You've seen it before, but he saw it again. He goes, "You are Max Bialystock."
Right.
I'm loud. This is what I do.
Right.
I do that.
And you absolutely do.
Yeah.
And that's...
And I guess, do I wear it as a badge of pride?
Well,
I'm sometimes embarrassed about it and will laugh about it, but I never think I'm wrong.
And you don't change. You're not saying I should change. You're saying, like, this is who I am. Again, I am Leo Blue. I'm Max Bialystock.
Well, nowadays with the Me Too things,
yes,
I have to stop myself a little bit.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I remember one of the... I'm not going to tell the...
Yeah, don't tell me. If you get something you can't...
I won't tell the story.
You spent,
Yes, I can, because it's a funny story.
You can cut it out later if you don't like it, but the thing is...
No. You'll judge whether I should do it.
All right.
And I won't mention it, but this is one of the funniest things I've ever said.
All right.
I don't know whether I'll say it today, but I will relate it in the fashion that this is something that I don't know whether I would say today, but God damn, it was funny.
I have a million of those. Yes.
It's Luck. Okay, remember Luck on HBO? Dustin Hoffman's in the room, Dennis Farina, Nick Nolte, Michael Mann is in the room. Mostly men, a few women, not many, getting the sex talk by the lawyer. This is what you're allowed to do. Right. This is back in the day. Right. So this is years ago. Right. Very attractive woman comes in, dressed, nice business suit, skirt, beautiful, gives about an hour and a half.
Right.
When she's finished, she goes out of the room, door shut, and I said, "Hands up, you wanted to fuck her." Which I think is one of the funniest things I'll ever say.
I thought you were going to say, if she says at the end, "Any questions?" you should say, "I didn't hear. I was just looking at your tits." That's what I thought you were going to say.
Well, yes, this is good because you're so good.
It's the same idea. Same idea.
But I loved the terseness of "hands up, you wanted to fuck her."
Right. Yes.
It's a very fun. I would probably not say that today.
Well, it depends on who's in the room, probably. The whole point about that joke is, obviously, it's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a joke. And the reason why it's funny is how crazy inappropriate it would be if you actually felt that way, and instead of just, you listen to this thing. And so, like, it's a reaction to having to sit for an hour and a half, hearing, an HR person do all that kind of stuff. Right. But in today's world, the intention of the joke no longer matters.
That's correct.
It's now who can hear it and be insulted by it. Or be offended
that's sort
by
of
it.
a shame, but yeah.
That's why I no longer tell small Asian boys. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
After we cut, I want to hear what the punchline is, because I have one. I got them in my head, but I don't know. Okay, so I think that I'm a little more self-censoring, but I don't want to be.
Okay, that's because of society, not because of wisdom, of age, of time, of things over time that you've heard. It's not
marriage has, and my therapist with the kids, but marriage has that point that you said, just listen to them and say, I know, I understand, I understand. I, with everybody, will try and give advice.
Right.
And also,
where did you get the idea?
Michael Boatman, who's now going through problems, at home and stuff like that. I give him advice. He calls me Talmudic. And I think that I am.
Yeah.
I think that my armchair quarterbacking is pretty great.
All right.
So I will not stop.
Should we get Michael Boatman on the show to talk about his problems? Should we get him there?
Michael Boatman has problems.
Okay.
Where he will tell a stranger his problems.
Okay.
And they're the same words he uses with me.
Okay.
It's as if they are rehearsed. He has been saying to his therapist, to his friends, and now will tell, because he's got these words that sum up his problem. But you
never answered my question. My question was...
Who was it my mother?
Where do you come to the ego where you think your advice has the value that you can shout it across the room at people and people should hear it.
I wish I could say it was my mom who...
Did people in your life do that? Was there an example of somebody who gave you a lot of advice?
My dad gave me lots and lots and lots of advice.
Okay, so you equate fatherhood.
He did, but I don't think.
Did you like his advice?
Yeah, but it wasn't until we were driving one day. It must have been in college or maybe even after college. He said something to the effect of, "Oh, you're a much better person than I was at your age."
That's nice.
You are. I tell my son that all the time.
What a great thing to hear.
Yeah, he absolutely. My dad, okay, this is therapy stuff.
Yeah.
But my dad used to be lying there in bed, watching TV. The commercial would come and he'd go, "Come here, son," and give your dad a hug. And I would put my head on his chest. He would hug me, and if given the chance, I would start to sob. I would well up.
Because you're so full of love or so full of sadness? What was the tear? Where were the tears?
No. Absolute love. Love.
Okay.
But he only did that during the commercials.
I see. You wanted more of that.
I guess.
Was he a jeweler? What was he?
Yeah, he owned a jewelry store.
Right, okay.
Okay. Well, part of it, I think, comes from... owning a jewelry store, he said, there is never a sad occasion for jewelry.
Okay, all right.
But it's true.
Yeah, all right.
People
don't give
jewelry on a bad occasion. There's nothing.
There's no funeral
bad.
bracelet.
Right. There's no bad.
Richard,
yeah.
Have we just discovered a market? Hold on a second.
What do you mean?
A market.
You mean you want funeral bracelets?
Funeral bracelets.
Yeah.
Funeral necklace. Holy
black
shit.
carpeting.
We'll make a fucking mint. Are you kidding? Everybody has to have a black onyx necklace when they walk into a funeral. Otherwise, they're not really sad. So he said he gave you jewelry advice.
My dad was the only Jew in Princeton. Princeton's a very goyish town. Mm-hmm. Very wealthy.
Yeah.
And my dad, everybody knew Sam Kind. He was king, but none of them were Jews.
Right.
He used to go to the country club where he was.
He was allowed.
But our country club was a Jewish country. He was a big mocker there.
Yeah. But he wasn't allowed at the Princeton Country Club.
Oh, certainly not. And
okay.
How many of them were friends?
Let's talk about what King of Princeton means. Let's stop that. King of Princeton means
he had no friends.
Jewish.
Yes, you're right. He had no friends in Princeton.
Right.
We never used to go, hey, let's go to their house.
Right.
Never. But everybody knew Sam Kind. He would walk.
There's the Jew we won't let in our house. Look.
But it's true.
I know.
It's true.
Okay,
but he owned Princeton. Everybody knew him. Everybody loved him.
Enough
that they did.
Yes.
Can I tell you something?
Okay.
That's how I live my life.
All right.
I really ask myself too, and this is an embarrassing thing. They're going to have this on tape and on film and everything.
Right. Good thing is no one watches my show, so thank God.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody could not like me.
All right. I can see that.
I know there are people who don't like me, and probably for what I just said.
Right. No, but it's interesting because you do walk through the world that way. You walk through the world as though I don't see how anyone could not like you.
You're absolutely right.
And I love that about you. And that confidence, whatever that is, serves you so well. If I could stride into a room thinking everybody here is going to like me. We were at a big thing yesterday, and I walked into that room, and I had trepidation about walking into that room. I've talked about that on the show like this before.
What to tell me, and let me see if I can respond.
I'm going to see people, either I'm going to see strangers or I'm going to see people I know. Either way, I don't know.
But isn't a stranger a magnificent person?
Maybe. But
no, Jay.
But I don't know.
Isn't that what the world's all about? I love going. Well, I love going to towns, meeting people, going to a bar. But I love it when they go, "Oh, I loved you on blah blah blah," and then I'll just start a conversation.
This was a sad occasion, so I didn't know. It wasn't going to be a party.
But I'm talking about a regular night, yesterday, any day.
Okay.
Why is walking into a room not a celebration of
people
look who I'm
don't
gonna love.
have the inner, the inner strength that you have that says everybody's going to like me. It's going to be fine. If I think
Or
that
you
I'm
can
not
find out about somebody.
No, listen, I eventually get there and I like talking to people and finding out about them. You know that.
You do.
But there's a moment in time you walk through a door and you see people and then you go like, okay, well, and there are people who here's something. There are people at that place that we were at yesterday, which was a memorial for a friend of ours who I haven't seen for years.
Me too, because I live in New
haven't
York.
seen for years. And I wonder, like, why haven't I seen them for years? Maybe they don't like me. Maybe there's a reason why I've been distanced from that group. There's a bunch of people in that world. And this is Matthew Perry's memorial. Matthew Perry was one of those people I was a little bit distant from for many years because of what he was going on in his life. And he had a group of friends who I'm also didn't hang out with because they're in that world and I'm in my world. And so I think, well, am I invited back in that world? How do I?
I always think it's my fault.
Yeah.
Why haven't I called them?
Yeah.
In
your case, it is.
Yeah.
You don't call people. It's very hard.
You want to know something
Yes.
with Matthew?
Yes.
Because I knew him at such a young age.
Yeah.
I gave him advice all the fucking time.
Right. Yeah.
And he could buy and sell me 6 ways from Sunday. He was more successful in everything he did than any advice I gave him, yet I still gave him.
Right.
And I'm talking on everything.
Yeah.
I'm talking women, I'm talking the career, I'm talking the drugs and the drinking. I gave him advice of all.
I will say that Matthew seemed like a boy even well into his 50s.
Yes.
Like he seemed like a boy who
right.
needed advice.
I know, and that's how I saw him at first,
Right.
and how I continued to see him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You haven't given me a ton of advice in my life. You haven't given me a ton of advice. And I wonder why. Do I project something that says I don't need advice or I won't listen to your advice?
If I could give you advice right now,
Yeah, what's the advice?
you're not going to like it, and it's going to sound mean,
Say it.
because I love you,
Yes?
and I worry about you.
Yeah.
I worry about your weight.
I should gain more weight? This is ridiculous, Richard. I'm already too heavy.
You might as well be
What are you-
happy.
what are you
You're
fucking
not
talking
gonna
about?
last that much longer.
I've recently lost like 60 pounds.
I was going to say, I saw you yesterday,
Yeah.
and I said, you look terrific.
Yes.
That's what I should have
well,
said.
you
I
can
saw
say-
you at a card
Right.
game,
Yeah.
and I gasped,
Okay.
and I kept my mouth shut, because it's like saying, well, you don't know it. I go, so
That's the thing. Like if you're extremely overweight,
Right.
you absolutely know you're extremely overweight.
You have to shower.
And you know that you have to
Right.
lose weight.
I
Yeah.
am so happy that I didn't have to say it. And all I wanted to say was, I love you, live longer.
Okay.
There are ways to live longer. Mm-hmm. And but you had to have known it. And
Right. Well, what would have been your weight loss advice? What would the advice you sat me down, it's just you and me, said, Jay, you got to lose weight. And here's what you should do.
I would say, here's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, I've been dieting since 4th grade. Mm-hmm. I know how hard it is.
Right.
You've been this weight for many years now.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you, it feels great when you lose it. It feels great.
Sure.
And not only does it feel great, you're going to live a long time.
It has felt great. Every time I've lost hundreds of pounds, it has always felt great.
Right.
Yes.
But not only for you, but for your son. You got to lose weight for your son, because he wants you there.
So you think the motivation wasn't there? You think if you just told me, hey, your son would like you to live a long life, you should do it for him.
And your friends.
And your friends, you should do it for them.
For them.
Okay. That's bad advice.
I know.
I don't think people lose weight. If people have an addiction to something, food or whatever, like Matthew Perry, you could say, hey, you got to stop your thing.
We love you. We do not want to lose you.
Right.
But then I would then say, and Jay, when you take the weight off,
Yes.
that's the easy part.
Right.
Keeping it off.
Is the hard part.
That's really, really hard.
All right.
So I'm asking you to lose weight,
Yes.
but I'm telling you, the hard part, you haven't even confronted yet.
Okay. Well, the thing is, I've lost hundreds of pounds, and I've had difficulty.
We all have.
No, but literally, like in one fell swoop. Like I've lost 100 pounds and then been thinner, and then impossible to keep the weight
Impossible.
down. Yeah.
That's because you lost 100 pounds
Yeah.
in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
You should lose 2 pounds a month.
Yeah.
3 pounds a month.
Yeah.
It stays off for longer. And let me tell you this, James Coco and somebody else, we were just talking about it the other day.
Dom DeLuise?
I think it might have been Dom DeLuise.
I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm going to go down my list of fat people. Jackie Gleason.
I know for sure it was James Coco.
Okay.
Lost a lot of weight and then put it back on. And the heart can't take that.
Right.
So
it may be more dangerous to lose weight than to not lose weight.
Sometimes I don't. It's true.
So maybe you're killing me with this weight loss stuff, Richard.
Sometimes my advice is wrong, but I got the ego to say it.
No,
I noticed. Trust me, I noticed yesterday. Of course, I noticed yesterday.
Yes, no, it goes. But obviously, the person with the problem. If I'm the person with the problem, in this case, I am. I know. I've spent my lifetime considering the problem and trying to work on the problem in many, many different and varied ways. And sometimes the problem's genetic, as well as emotional, as well as habit. It's nature. A friend of mine once said, and nurture.
You're that overweight, it's not because you're hungry.
Right.
Nobody can eat that much to be that much.
So there's a lot of things going on.
Of course, we suppress our feelings. Right. Of course.
You eat for feelings?
My biggest, so somebody said, he said, I can't see you being an alcoholic or a drug abuser or anything. I go, I'm not. Give me a salad bar. Oh God. Just, you got to put a timer on. This is how long you can eat, and then you must leave.
Right. We've known for years you've been addicted to salad bars. And ignoring the sneeze guard completely. I don't like that at all.
Yes, I know. Just let me go in there and taste.
Exactly. You got to nibble with your fingers.
Yes, I know. I got to taste. Is this what I want?
Use the tongs. Can't you use the tongs for 1 second?
Oh, I do.
I appreciate the sentiment behind, hey, I care about you, and I want. But that's the thing.
Of course, I want you. But it's me. It's my friends.
Think about it. Like if I told my friend, "Hey, I want you to lose weight," or I want you to stop taking drugs. Right? It's easy to say and hard to do, and it's not just a matter of willpower. It's not just a matter of keeping it in your mind. Sometimes with addiction, there's a physical addiction. There's a disease that's taking over certain people's of your brain and your body. And so like you have to figure out all that stuff. So it's a mix of stuff.
But I'm going to tell you why I said for somebody else.
Yes.
Whenever I give a lecture or something about acting and they ask about the auditions and everything, this is the advice I give them, and I think this is correct. Yeah. Because my ego is correct. You're going to go into the audition going, please, dear God, let me get this, let me please, everybody like that. Nobody at that table who you're auditioning for says, Jesus, I hope Richard gets this job. I want Richard to get. Nobody says that. What they're saying is, I want this show to be Seinfeld. I want Seinfeld money. Go in saying, if you're good and you really believe this, that you're right for the part, you got to believe you're right for the part. How can I help you? How can I help you make Seinfeld money? Not only can I get it, I'm your best chance at getting Seinfeld money. You cast me, you better cast great around me. Take it all off yourself. Don't worry about getting the job. Don't be nervous about going and go, I'm going to help you guys out. You want to make Seinfeld money? Right. I'm your guy.
Spoken like the son of a jeweler. All right, that's about money.
It is positive.
It's money. No, it's positive, but it's like I want to make the show great. I want to make the show great.
I want to make the show great, and I'm your guy. Right. I can help you make this part. I read it. I go, I can do this.
Right. I would say that as somebody who sits on the other side of the desk on occasion, that you're 100% right that going in nervous and saying I want this is completely unhelpful.
Awful. Yeah.
And my advice to actors going in is just like, do your thing. Just do your thing. And then we will see whether we think that's the right thing. In other words, it's not,
okay.
It's the same kind of thing. We're thinking of somebody for this part. Now, the person walking in could be different than what we think of, and they still blow us away because they're so good.
But there's a little bit that's wrong with you.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm going to do my thing. I hope it's right.
Yeah.
I hope I'm right doing my thing. Therefore, they're still being judged.
There is no right. You either are your thing or not.
But that's what you're thinking. You're saying do your thing? Oh God, I hope my thing is correct.
Of course.
I hope my thing is what they want. It's not. This is how it should be done. I swear to God, people say when I'm finished,
yes,
I didn't even see it that way.
Right.
And you know what my reaction is? What other way can you do it?
Okay, because you have an ego that says this is the way to do it.
I've made my decision. How else?
Yeah.
How else can you do it?
We now have to replace that microphone because you just broke it.
Because I'm but that's how passionate I get. Look, I just asked to be fired.
Let me just ask
from a funny
is
thing.
any of this usable? This audio usable? Yeah. Okay. Great. All right.
Could we be doing this live to every state in the country? Because they'll hear it.
Yeah. But yes, but you walk in with the confidence. You do it. But you don't always get the part, even with that attitude. You're not going to always get the part.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yes.
You're right.
Okay. I didn't think that was going to come out. You're right. I think you wanted so badly to say, no, I always do get the part.
But if I go in for a TV audition, not for a pilot, but for a TV audition, not movies, not theater, but TV, and the director gives me a piece of direction, I have never lost the part.
That's great.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
So you can go in with a firm decision.
Yes.
But be malleable.
Of course.
But go in with a firm decision. This is what I'm going to give you. Now you say, let's see what this guy does. Right. No, this is how this part should be. I got it.
Right.
Don't worry. Sit back. Relax.
Right.
I got this.
Right.
I got your back on this one.
Right.
This is
made decisions.
This is how it should be. This is not, this is what I do. This is how the character should be played.
Right. Now, I think that's great for an actor to think that, and great for an actor to do that. And I think it's even better for an actor to hear a note and say, "We'd like you to go in this direction," and then take that note. That's fantastic. That proves that that person can work. I always, if I love an actor's performance, if I think they're great, if I've seen something wonderful, I will give them a note anyway to see if they can play.
Exactly.
So see if because I want to make sure that on the day,
real challenge, right?
On the day, like this guy didn't just work on one scene 1,000 times with a coach, and that's it. I want to see their mind work, and I want to see their creativity, and then I'm going to give them a note and say, okay, I know the scene is about you robbing a bank, but could you play it scene
as if you're begging for money or whatever,
or whatever, yeah.
Funny story is that I was being directed in a Tom Stoppard play, and he gave me a note to play it this certain way, and this is how I reacted. That's the stupidest note in the world. Why would it's on the page? I would never do that. Look, I'm going to try it, but that's the stupidest note ever.
Right.
I do it, and I finish, and I go, "You're absolutely right."
Okay.
So with my braggadocio saying whatever advice, whatever comes out of my mouth, I can acknowledge that I am incorrect.
Right. But if I was doing that when I was an actor, and so I would hear that's the stupidest note. But instead I would say, let me give it a try. I wouldn't have said that.
But the thing is, you ask, how do I have this confidence?
Yeah.
I don't. I have this passion.
All right.
I have this passion for being in the heart of it, and saying, and being in the heart of it means speaking what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and therefore, and then through that I find out, oh, I'm not right. So I'm scared. I'm scared to meet this person. But after doing it, I look how happy I am. Oh my God, I'm glad that I walked up to this person and started talking. Right. I'm glad I walked into this memorial. Right. Scared, but willing to.
Oh, I was happy I went. I was happy I went.
I know that, but I'm saying that's how I walk in.
Yeah.
And I saw Summer Blair yesterday. I didn't think she would remember me, so I went, and she goes, "Do you remember when we worked together?" Right. Yes, of course. And I hugged her, and it was so nice to see her. But I worry that somebody doesn't remember me, and I want to remind them.
I introduce myself all the time, but I'm not Richard Kind. That's the thing. I went to Jimmy Burrows, who I've worked with many times. I say, "Hey, Jimmy J. Kogan." Like I'll say,
"Oh, that's funny."
Just always, because you don't know. You don't know.
Well, you know what? Bill Bradley used to be a customer of my father's.
Yes.
No, he's a 6'8" guy,
basketball pro and senator.
And Senator comes into the store, Mr. Kind, I'm Bill Bradley. My dad would go, "Yes, sir, I know. I remember."
And he said, "Mr. Kind, I'm Bill Bradley, and I won't shake your hand because you're a Jew." That's fine.
And you don't belong in this town.
You don't belong in this town. Get out of Princeton. But he was still Bill Bradley, and that's the main thing.
Now, I got to tell you, my dad, at his funeral, I said this in the eulogy. I used to walk down the street with my dad my dad was 6'4" and I was a little kid, and my hand would be up in the air holding his hand. Okay. And it would take an hour and a half to walk down the street. I'd be walking, and he would talk to somebody, and I'd be making circles, like that, and it would take forever.
Right.
When I shook Shaquille O'Neal's hand, I remember my arm going up, not out, up.
Yes.
And I said, that's what it was like. That was shaking Shaquille O'Neal's hand.
Right.
When I raised it up straight, that was what it was like to walk down the street and have it there.
Let me ask you something.
For an hour. Yes.
Did you rest your head on Shaquille O'Neal's chest and cry a little?
I wanted to.
I know.
You know who I met last night?
Who's that?
I met Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
72 years old, and he's just walks slow, and he's just old. He's old.
Basketball is hard on your body.
It is.
Basketball, sports in general.
You know what? I play in Joe Namath's golf tournament every year. And what are you going to say? Joe, wow, good to see you. Wow, when I was a kid, wow, like that. One year I said to him, my son Max was playing football. So I said, Joe, my son just got on the football team this year. And you know what he said to me? Football was not made for the human body.
He's right.
That's what he said.
He's right.
Yeah.
It's like you can see they don't walk. They stop walking at a 55. They have really
his hands, his knees. Oh, the poor guy. But here's the question.
And then when you see Joe Namath, do you talk about his ears? Do you say, "Hey, Joe, what's going on with your ears?"
How'd you get? How did the women come after that?
Exactly.
Like a big ewer.
Broadway Joe.
He was such a lovely guy, but I often wonder if when you're 17 years old and they say, we're going to give you everything. We're going to give you all this money. You're going to have fame, everything like that. But at age 36, you're going to hurt for the rest of your life.
Right.
What would you do?
At age 17, you'd say, yeah, because you wouldn't think about age 36.
You don't. You think you're invincible.
Right. Yeah. You don't think about age 36.
That's how I sort of live my life.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, that's good.
Okay.
You don't think too far ahead.
Yeah, I don't think. But I tell advice to my kids. Please work out.
Yeah.
Please exercise.
Do they listen?
No.
Right. Because my father. Guess what my father told me every day?
What?
Don't eat so much and work out.
Yeah.
Because he was
had
a great.
To battle it.
He didn't have to battle it. He was very strong and he worked out all the time and he had a great metabolism and all that kind of stuff. It was that's not an Arnie Kogan thing. That's a Sue Kogan thing. That's my mom's side. The Sue Kogans we're heavy and fat. But it didn't help that my dad would say, "Hey, you shouldn't eat that." Or you should work out. It didn't help. That advice didn't help because we already know.
Yeah, but now that I'm older, I go, oh God, and I get up from the low couch and I go, oh my God, I wish I worked out when I was younger. I wish I worked out. It's all I wanted to do. I just wouldn't be feeling like this, so they can see it.
Yes.
It still does nothing.
Can I tell you something?
What?
30 years ago, when you would get out of a chair, you would still go,
yeah, but that's the Jew in me. That was for, you're right.
It still was
that was Richard Kind. That was my persona. You're right.
So, okay, but that's just who you are. Well,
yeah. Did I answer anything that you wanted?
Yes. My takeaway from this is if I believed in myself as much as you believe in yourself, I would be able to.
And as a writer, you do believe in yourself.
But I believe in the thing. In other words, I'll write the thing and work on the thing and then believe in that.
Right.
That's the reason why I stopped being an actor, is because when they were saying no to me as an actor, I couldn't take that rejection. But when they say no to a script, I go, okay, well, that's that. It's not me.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit separated.
And I don't, everybody says, oh, how do you take the rejection? No.
Right.
I don't care about that. As a matter of fact, I love auditioning.
Right.
I love to audition. You finally get to go into, and you get a part. It's like I'm a one-man repertory company.
Yeah.
Oh, look what I get to audition with. Right. Look what I get to do.
Do you do the filming?
Sure. And everybody says, oh, I hate that. Oh, what are we doing self-tape? Love the self-tape. I love it. I get to do the take that I want.
Right.
This is what I'm going to do.
You don't get to hear the note. You don't get to hear the note, do it this way.
You'll get called back if they want to. If it's something that's worthwhile,
right.
Or they say, "Wow, you're close to what it is," then we'll play with you. We'll right. do it. But no, a self-tape, I love it. I love it.
The best advice that you give actors, which is great, is go in and do what you want to do. Make a great choice.
Make a choice.
Make your best choice, and then do it, and be happy with that performance. That's the performance that you just have to be happy with. Don't worry about getting the job, not getting the job. The only parts I ever got were jobs I didn't want, were things where I actually didn't give a shit about it, and I was relaxed enough to actually give a decent performance in an audition.
I agree with that, and yet, in fact, recently, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want the part, and I tend to not be good. I used to say, "Oh, I don't want this thing," and then I go in and I do well. And if they say, "Oh, you're great. Wow, let's do it this way," then all of a sudden I like the part, but because they want me.
Right.
But I'll go in for anything.
All right.
I go in for everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I love it.
What's the greatest part? Just talking about your kids. What's the greatest part about being a parent for you?
I love when they are together on the couch or in a room. It's as if they are at camp, that they love each other. Now, they can push each other's buttons.
Right, sure.
But when they are laughing with each other and they're shorthand and they're just sitting on the couch playing. I have a picture of my son helping my daughter with her math homework.
Oh, that's sweet.
It is the most beautiful picture. It's just so great. I got to, the guy, I once was sitting on the couch, the three of them are there, and then they see that I'm taking pictures, surreptitiously taking a picture, and they do it, and then they realize it, and then all three of them just go, give me the finger. And we're not allowed to curse in my family.
Okay.
Unless, and this they can't do, unless it's for comic effect. Okay. Sometimes, for instance, giving a finger while I'm taking it is hilariously funny.
How do you impose the no cursing rule? How does that come up?
I say, no.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And we'll be in the car and they're playing their music and it's they're connected to the speaker or whatever, and they'll hear the bad words that are coming over, and I can see them glance over at me when they're, hey,
right.
fucking it, or
right.
even especially the N-word, which I can't take.
Right.
And they'll look over and I'll just say, well, you want me to fucking curse? I can curse fucking curse just with the best of them, guys.
Right.
But, they'll in the house when they curse, and I'll go, no. The world is dirty enough already. I don't need to add to it. You want to make a joke? I welcome it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, fucking use it.
Right.
That's the joke.
Okay.
But do not curse. And they don't curse. Now, I have a feeling in real life they might.
Of course they
But I hope that they don't.
Okay. Well, as a parent,
Yes.
parent to parent, I'm going to encourage you
Yeah.
to the next time you desperately want to give your child advice,
Yeah.
to spend a good 5 to 10 minutes not giving the advice.
Oh, of course.
Just
being quiet.
Being quiet, listening to them, feeling with them what they're feeling. Just hold back just a little bit.
Yep.
Just so that they feel seen enough, and in that version loved
You're
enough.
absolutely right. And I'm going to tell you an example of me doing that.
Okay.
A week ago Friday, I take my daughter out. She's home from school, and we go out to dinner. And we have a nice conversation during dinner and everything. And I say, gosh, I hope I'm not invading her privacy, but I say, I know she sees a therapist. Do you still see the therapist that you saw in New York? She says something to the effect of, she knows me better than anybody did. We've been, it's been 5 years and she knows me better. She calls me on everything. And I say, do you tell her everything? And she thinks, she goes, yeah, I do. And I go, like what? And she laughs. She goes, I'm not going to tell you. And I go, well, tell me one of the things that she done. She tells me. It's not so intimate. I keep my mouth shut. I listen to everything she says. And then she takes it to a step further where she tells me something that was something that I might not have heard from her.
Right.
And I just nod, wanting to say
of course.
something, wanting to.
But in that moment,
course.
you're so connected, and she's treating you like somebody who can hear her.
I know. Makes me cry right now.
That's beautiful.
Makes me cry.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm the other way. I think my son wishes at some point I gave more advice, or not even more, was harder on him. My son wishes at some point
I'm hard on my
wishes
kids.
was
I'm
that I was harder.
I'm very good. Now, my wife, my ex, she's just a good heart. Dana used to go in and do what was called mama bed. She would sit with those kids for 15 to 20 minutes every night, just listening to them, probably just lying next to them listening. I would do that and I'd fall asleep.
Of course. Me too. That's a lot of it. I wouldn't be able to.
I can't do it,
Yes.
but that was mama bed.
Oh, that's good.
That was mama bed.
She has
and
that
she
potential.
she does it.
Yeah.
My ego can't take it.
Okay.
She is a listener. Now she's a therapist.
Right.
She's just great. And she's just, well, you knew Dana. She's great.
Yes.
That's why we're not together.
I know.
Because
That's all right.
I tend to talk.
Right.
And I'm loud. She always goes, stop.
Right.
You know, but that's how she'd
She
argue.
knew
too.
that when she married you.
I know.
That's the thing.
And then she came up, were you at my wedding?
Yeah, of course.
So then you remember what I said.
Yes. I love you because you love me. Of course.
What an ego. What
I know.
a fucking ego.
I think that's genius. I was going to mention, I forgot it all about, of course. I love you because you love me is so, so you-centric, but that's
I know, but it's
interesting.
but that's part of the truth. It's not that I didn't love
I understand.
her, but it is true. That's how I felt.
Right.
I mean, she showed me such love.
Another way to say that, which would be less egocentric, is you make me feel so loved.
That will never get a laugh.
No, I know. But that's the sweet version of that.
Of course.
But yes, the other.
Of
that was
course.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
I just didn't have the vocabulary.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, or
All right.
the knowledge. But it's the truth, and I'll say it and say it and say it. And she said, we will celebrate our differences.
Yes.
We found it was too difficult to celebrate.
Right. I understand. My wife and I do have plenty of differences.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But it's sort of funny. My difference is I want to go out. I want to socialize.
Yes.
I want to go to the party and be the last to leave.
Right.
I can't leave a party. And I always wonder what's going on next. I have 3 things that I want to do. I always stay too late. I'm always late because I'm staying wherever I am. I like being wherever I am.
Right. But that's good.
I know.
That's your enjoying life.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what gives me the ego
Yes.
to talk and be there.
I have mixed feelings. Last night when everybody was at the smokehouse, and I was sitting at home with my wife, and she said, and Pressman said, "We're at the smokehouse," and I said, "Are you going to come?" I said, "No, not going to." Like I would miss what's going on at the smokehouse, but I would also miss what's going on. Just
What was
spending
going
time-
on at home?
Just me and my wife sitting together, having a night together. That's all.
Yeah, but
I had met people earlier the day. I had experienced a little bit of that, and I sort of wanted.
why
to
you're a good husband.
I wanted to sit with that.
That's why you're a good husband. I don't think
I
would.
beat the shit out of her when I was there. Don't get me wrong. Oh, she got the bag
It
of
was a
this.
nice night.
Yeah.
It was
It was not
a
pretty.
productive
I should have
night.
gone to the bar.
She knew her place.
She prayed that I would go to the
but
smokehouse.
I would not like a night like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess nowadays would I? I stay home much more, but I'm known to go to every party even if I'm not having a good time.
So if I invite you to a party and you don't show, you must hate me. Is that the idea?
That is exactly.
Is that
you
the
can
answer?
put it in your diary.
Oh, holy shit. Okay.
One more example
Yeah.
of rich kind.
Oh my God. All
I
right.
never miss a party. When do I ever miss a party?
I don't know. I've never heard about it. I mean,
Do you know that one of my favorite jokes came because of the bris, your son's bris?
Yes.
You know what my joke was?
We'll say it again.
Everybody said, "How was it?" I go, "A little too Jewy for my taste."
Exactly. Yes.
It's one of my
No,
favorite
I know.
jokes.
You told my son's 20th birthday. We put it on a tape for
Did
him.
we? Oh,
Yes. That was
I always
fabulous.
love saying that.
Yes.
A little too Jewy for my taste. And I
very good.
now use that punchline.
Yes.
But that's the first time I ever
It's a great
said
joke.
it.
It's a great
I know,
joke.
I know.
Richard, we now do part of this show where we go to take a viewer question from a listener.
I love that.
And we're gonna take the question. You're gonna answer the question from the listener.
Great.
Okay. These are questions.
Did I go too long?
There's no time limit here.
Oh, good.
There's no time limit
Because
here.
I can talk and talk. First of all, I love talking to you.
Well, I love talking to you.
I
This is
know
why
that.
I
know that. But I'm also, I love talking.
Right.
I
know.
like. I love. You know something I hate?
What?
Eating alone. Do you like to go into a restaurant
can't
and
do
eating
it.
alone? I can't
I
either.
can't do it. I can't go to a movie alone either.
Oh, I can. Oh, I don't like going with people.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, yesterday, I decided to sit next to Andrew Hill Newman.
Yes.
So that when I cried, I wouldn't be embarrassed. I didn't want to be next to Ben Weiss.
He called me and made fun of you.
as long as I...
Yeah,
do you know what I did once to my daughter? I once took my daughter to War Horse, the play at Lincoln Center. And at the end, this was her birthday gift.
Right.
She must have been about 8 years old. At the end, I'm crying and I'm just sobbing. Right. And my daughter like peeks around to look at her father going, and I just took my hand and I go, move. I just pushed her out of the way. Get the fuck
Can
away.
we talk about that War Horse may not be the best play for an 8-year-old?
Well, who knew? I didn't know.
Read a review, Richard.
It's guys running around pretending to be horses. I didn't know. Okay. Go. What does the listener have to say?
Anyway, this is viewer mail. So people can. I'm going to give the address again, which is if you have a question for me or my guest, write to dbawjk@gmail.com.
So that when I wasn't here at 1:30, at 12:30 on time.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Why?
Because I was late and people are tuning in to listen.
This is not live.
Oh, I thought you said somebody's calling in.
This is an old email. This is an email that somebody sent in from a week ago to a generic guest of mine.
I didn't know that.
It's not specifically for you. The last guest was like Kevin Pollak or somebody like that.
Oh, well, that's a guy who can
That's
talk.
good.
He's very funny.
They're all
and
good.
he knows how to be a good guest.
He's a good guest. You're a great guest.
Am I a good guest?
You're a great guest.
I like that. Did you ever listen to me on Mark Maron?
No.
On Mark Maron's show, I was always wondering, why doesn't he ask me? And I said, Mark, I want to be the best guest in the world.
Right.
I want to be a memorable, to you, Mark, a memorable guest.
And how did you make that memory? How did you do it? Did you do it?
I don't know. I just want to be.
Did you succeed? Have you been on it?
I think I'm a good guest.
But how'd you do on Mark Maron?
Very good.
What'd you do on that show that you're not doing here? Why aren't you giving me the full Mark Maron?
I think I'm giving you. I think I am. I'm giving you the full Mark Maron. And I want you to call me the best guest.
Yes.
But with Kevin Pollak, that's going to be tough.
I have had a lot of really good guests. Steven Weber was on. He was
Weber's great.
Yeah.
And Weber will go with your jokes and he'll take you with the tangents. I hear your jokes, I'll laugh, but I go, stop. I don't want to hear your joke right now. I want to answer this question. That's my ADD.
I understand. But it's fine. It's fine.
And your AD is making the joke.
It's true.
Yeah.
But what makes a good guest here on this show is if people actually dig down into themselves and give a little bit of who they are and not just make a joke. And you've done that.
You know why? Because I'm authentic.
That's true.
Good night, everybody.
And you can fit your whole fist in your mouth.
I can, but I won't do it.
I want to see it here. But just to say that there's more to you than just loud voice. You can also put your fist in your mouth. So that's good. Anyway, here's the question that I have from this viewer, Ed. Listener, viewer, it's viewed on YouTube and it's listened to on a podcast world.
Okay.
So I don't know whether it's a listener or a viewer.
Have you done?
This is the
approximate
23rd show I've recorded, something like that. Great. Maybe that.
I'm honored to be so early in the list.
But they haven't been airing in order. So there's some like sitting in the. So we don't do it in order. We just pick the ones that are coming up. Anyway, here's there's a jingle. There's a listener mail jingle that we'll hear.
Now it's time for listener mail.
That was great. We can't really hear it, but they're going to put it in post.
I got you. Okay,
but they'll hear it. Okay.
So what? Why would you say that to me then?
Because then on the camera,
but you knew
on camera that will look like we're hearing it. Okay, so here again.
That was great.
Okay, so here's good.
That was charming.
Let's do it again. So there's a listener mail theme song that we're going to hear.
Can I hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Now it's time for listener mail.
That's very good.
That's good.
Isn't that good?
That's good.
Okay, that's Charlie. My son wrote that.
I was going to say who wrote it.
Charlie Kogan.
And it's hummable.
It's very good.
Okay. I loved it.
And here is the question. How do you decide what work to turn down? We tend to say yes to everything, but at some point, we know we need to say no. How do you decide which projects to do and which projects to skip?
I can give you a flat answer of one type is that after I did A Serious Man, I got offered way too many Jewish roles.
Okay.
And I don't want to be known as the Jewish actor.
Too late.
Well, I'll give you an example of why it's actually not.
All right.
Is after Serious Man, I auditioned for a movie that Clint Eastwood did.
Okay.
Playing a character of Greek descent.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, Clint Eastwood still calls me, hey, it's the Greek. I did the movie. So there are plenty of roles that when I say a Jewish role, I don't have to speak any Yiddish.
Right.
I don't have to be so oi
Right.
like that. And it's just not, the Judaism isn't worn on
Right.
its sleeve.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Those things are tough to turn down, and I will turn them down. So that's one thing. How do I know what to turn down? I don't. I pretty much take everything. And it's only time, and money is sometimes an issue. Time is an issue. And nowadays, if I don't like the script,
Right.
but even if I do like the script, even if I don't like the script, I'll still do it. And I'll tell you, I should send you two great shorts that I did. That I just loved. No money, nothing at all.
I would love to
but
see
they're terrific. Although one may be turned into a movie.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, and she got hired by like CAA or something, and it's great.
Do you still require full frontal nudity in every part?
In everything.
Okay.
But only if I'm working with Julianne Moore. I say
Right.
no frontal nudity.
Okay.
I only leave it up to her.
That's good. All right. Listen, they film it. They don't always use it, but they film it. And that's the important thing. Listen, you got to have your rider, your contract, the thing, that's why the SAG fought over it, to honor your contract. And if your contract says full frontal.
Now, can I tell something to
Sure,
Ed or
please.
Eric or what's his name?
Ed.
If you are an actor, or to anybody who's listening and is an actor, take a young actor.
Yeah.
Take everything.
Of course.
But I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Go do theater. Go do anything. You never know who you'll meet. You'll never know where it'll go. You never know how much you'll learn. Do everything.
Completely agree. You don't, if you're just starting out, you don't be choosy. There's no choosy. It's just doing. It's working.
There are people who choose.
It's insane.
Well, Hank Azaria used to say, have you never heard the word no?
Yeah, well.
And I didn't. He asked me that about 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I say yes to everything.
Especially when you're starting out, nobody's going to ding you for having been in something. They're going to ding you for not working. They're going to ding.
Right.
Work begets work. You get to meet a bunch of people, even if you worked on the shittiest thing. You might meet somebody who's working on something else and say, I know this person and I think they'll be great for this role. And you may get the good role.
Yeah. You never know where to lead. Yeah. However, I recently left a production, sadly, that I was really looking forward to, but it was untenable.
What was untenable?
In fact, it was because you knew him. You knew Larry Gilbart.
Yeah.
It was a funny thing happened on the way to the Forum.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was doing in Paris.
Yes.
But I couldn't do it.
Why?
Did you not know? That's why I'm here now.
Well, thank God.
The director, who was a lovely man,
right,
and had directed, if you ever saw One Man, Two Governors with James Corden,
yes,
he directed all the physical comedy in that. He directs Cirque du Soleil. Mm-hmm. He wanted me to be a clown. You can't be a clown in A Funny Thing Happened.
Right.
You can be a clown in a pantomime,
sure.
but you can't be a clown in that. You can be a funny actor, a comic actor. He wanted a clown.
Were you the Zero Mostel part?
Yeah.
That's not a clown. He's the smart guy. He knows everything.
And he said, everybody's dumb. Everybody's stupid in the show. I go, this guy isn't stupid.
Right.
Well, I just wasn't for him.
I got you.
And I kept begging him, Cal, I'm not who you want.
Right.
I'm not who you go, no, you're going to be brilliant. I go, I know I am, but not in your production.
Right.
I was ferocious. He wanted a clown.
So then they got...
You know what he honestly said?
What?
And to anybody who knows theater at all, he says, I don't want anybody looking at each other. I don't want you looking in the eyes. Just take it out there. And I go, I can't do that. He goes, every choice you make.
Right.
It's not Arthur Miller. He goes, you're so subtle. I go, I'm subtle? You're asking me. I can't. The lady in the second balcony, she can't give me freedom. This guy can give me freedom. I can't look at her.
Right. That's crazy. Well, that's bad direction.
On every page, there was an infraction, and some were added lines and some were excised lines of Larry Gelbart, and I knew Larry.
So a terrible. It was
incorrect.
Okay.
It was a mismatch.
Yeah.
So I left. But 4 weeks of rehearsal in London.
But that sounds like a terrible thing.
It was a terrible thing.
Who would want to see the show where no one's looking at each other, no one's listening, and people are overacting everything?
I hope that it's not as bad as you say. But it's not my funny thing happened.
It sounds terrible.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. What else? Who else asked the question? Anybody else?
Who replaced you? Ronald McDonald? Like, what happened?
No, the guy who was playing Hysterium was a wonderful actor.
Yeah.
But as Hysterium, there was nothing Hysterium about it.
Right.
He's supposed to be like Don Knotts.
Right.
Whenever he's saying, I'm calm, I'm perfectly calm, I'm going, I know you are calm. He had nothing. I said, and I told him, you should be playing Pseudolus. You're fantastic in this. And he's a good clown.
Right.
And he's a good comic actor, too. He's not the actor I am.
Right.
Okay, he wasn't ferocious about it all.
Okay.
But I said, you should be doing it. And he goes, no, you're New York. I go, I know, but that's not what Cal wants. You should be doing it.
How quickly did you know that it was wrong?
4 days into it.
It's interesting because you think...
But I stayed a month and 2 days.
Well, per diem. You're in Paris in the per diem. Holy, you're not stupid. You're not going to walk away.
That crepe with the Nutella.
I know.
That ain't cheap.
It's pretty nice.
That's €5 right there.
You know, I don't know which beautiful hotel you were staying at, but you're staying at a pretty nice hotel, I'm sure. But I mean, here's the thing. You think you're saying, you think by now, after 60 years, everyone knows what that play is. You know, like, when you say yes, you think, okay, yeah, sure, I'm perfect for that play.
He said the play doesn't work in 2023. I said, yes, it does.
Yeah.
But I know he wanted to change it a little in ways that were sort of cute, sort of this, that. It's not very woke. It's a little, but we celebrated.
Yeah.
In fact, I added some words at the beginning at his request, saying, for those of you who are weak of heart, brace yourselves, for this is not the year 2023. We take you now, throw your Puritan beliefs aside. We take you now to ancient Rome, something familiar.
Yeah.
I was much more theatrical. I don't know. It was a little misbegotten for my tastes.
I got it.
Yeah, it was not for me.
So was it, since you take everything and say yes to everything, was this one of the hardest decisions to sort of like make it not happen?
Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah.
I didn't quit.
Yeah. Okay.
But I kept asking him to fire me. I said, I'm not going to quit. Please fire me. One day he left rehearsal, throwing on his jacket and slamming the door. I wrote him two emails of apology.
Right.
I said, I'm sorry. This is how I react. I'm not. It seems like I'm yelling. I'm not. I'm just passionate. And I came in and I apologized to him. He goes, it was not right. But I because I am and have this ego of that I have to say what's on my mind.
Yes.
I would say it to his assistants. I would say it to members of the cast, and he would hear it. And it bled into the cast, and it was not healthy. And so they fired me. The producers said, Richard, I am sorry, but I'm afraid that we have to let you go. I go, Jean-Luc, it's the best decision you could possibly make.
Yes.
Absolutely right.
That's good.
Absolutely right. I will refuse to quit, but I believe you are doing the right thing.
Because also, if you quit, then you sacrifice the money. But if they fire you?
When my manager said, do we try and go after, I go, do not go after the money. Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, that's not it. I'm not going to quit.
Okay.
I'm not going to leave them in the lurch. I didn't know what they were going to do. So, but they figured something out.
Right.
Get rid of me. Absolutely. Did the right thing.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you didn't have to sit through that. And
I'd be there.
Painful.
I'd be there tonight.
All right.
It would be horrible. Horrible.
Yeah. That sounds terrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah. That's like a prison kind of thing.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, prisons, actual prisons worse.
My neck and my back hurt, and one night my chest hurt.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was horrible. One time I yelled at an actor. I yelled him. You know the play, right? You know that 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm giving away the money,
Right.
and then I go 7, 8. He goes, hey. He goes, what happened to 5 and 6? I go, I'm coming to that. 9, 5, 6.
Right.
So he would go 1, 2, 3, 5. You go, hey. And instead of going, what happened to 5 and 6? He go, hey. What happened to 5 and 6? I go, no, come right in on it.
Right.
That's what you got to do. It's a vaudeville rhythm.
Timing. Yeah.
And then the next day he didn't do what I had talked to him about it. The next day he didn't. I go, no, come right in on it. And then I stopped rehearsal. I said, David, I'm so sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. I have no right to yell at you. No right. You're a great actor. You've been in this profession for too long. Nobody should yell at you like that. He gave me a hug. And then when I left, I said, David, and he had forgiven me. He didn't care. And I go, David, I will carry that for the rest of my life. And I will. I will carry yelling at that actor for the rest of my life.
You apologize. You can't let it go?
I apologize in front of the whole cast.
Let it go.
No, I will. He
forgave you.
Yeah, of course he forgave me, but that I could be driven to that point.
Okay, but that's fine.
I will carry that to the rest of my life.
So that you've got angry is human.
But that's what kind of professional I am.
I can't believe I'm trying to boost your ego.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Trying to boost your fucking ego.
I'm a good man.
You're a good man.
I'm a good man.
And you're forgiven for that. There are many things you should absolutely carry for the rest of your life and be upset about. That's not one of them. Okay?
All right.
You can pick up a check once in a while.
Anybody else interested in me? No, never. No.
Exactly. All right.
Actually, I'm good at that now. I'm very good.
All right, good.
Okay.
This is now the section of the show we call the moment of joy.
A moment of joy.
Okay.
Well, that's joyous right there.
And so I ask you, what's something, and you can't say your kids because it's too easy.
I've already done it because it's on the couch.
What do you do? What gives you joy? What gives you joy that I might not expect or that I don't know about you?
Well, I'm on a thread called CADS. You know about that?
I don't know CADS.
CADS, Character Actor Dining Society.
Okay.
Or I am out to dinner with friends of mine who I love. And I'm sitting there and it's fun and I'm having a great time. I will pause and I go, literally in my head, I hope I never die.
And that gives you joy?
When I pause and I realize how lucky I am. Look at the people who I surround myself with, that I'm able to be with them.
How good life is.
How good life is.
Yeah.
I hope I never die.
And that's before you decide to split up the check 18 ways.
No, somebody has already picked up the check.
How much is Bradley Whitford paying? Is he paying the same amount as everybody else or a little bit less?
I have a story that doesn't sound like it's a good story, but it ends up being a good story. I took my kids to Ireland and Paris for a week each this summer. We're out to dinner in Paris. By the way, I hate traveling with my kids and eating because my kids will go, I'm hungry, let's eat here. And they go, no, we don't. I got a restaurant, we're going to go. Right. No, I'm hungry, I want to eat here. I go, no, we don't even know what the quality is.
Right.
I'm hungry, I want to eat here. And what are you going to do?
Right.
So eat there. So one night we're at dinner and my daughter says to me, Daddy, you got to lift the seat. You got to lift the seat. You can't do it. And I go, okay, honey. She goes, don't laugh. You have to. And I go, I will. She goes, why are you laughing? Don't laugh. And I go, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at you. She goes, you always do that. All of a sudden, my other daughter pitches in on something that bothers her about me. And then my son comes in and they're all attacking me.
Right.
They're attacking me. And I go, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to leave dinner? And my daughter goes, yes. Like that. They go, and they just are coming at me with things that bother me. And I go, oh my God, guys, stop. And then all of a sudden they stop. And they go, but we love this trip. We're having such a good, we love you, Daddy. Okay. We love you. So, it was 4 to 5 minutes of just a barrage of things.
Right, but I love you made it okay.
We go on with the rest of the evening. Okay. Each kid came in alone. I'm telling you, not knowing that the other kid came in and just said, Daddy, we love you. I'm so sorry that we attacked you like that. We love you so much and we're having such a good, each kid. And I'm telling you, they did not know it.
All right.
That was one of the happiest moments of my life because my kids can talk to me like that, that they're so free to say what's on their mind.
When it's, I love you, Dad? That's not the hard talk.
No, when they're saying, how often did you yell at your dad? Dad, I can't stand what you're doing.
Never.
Me neither.
Yeah, never.
My kids go at it.
Yeah. All right.
God bless them.
Yeah, God bless them.
They can talk to me.
Yes.
My kids are so open with me that they can say, this is how I feel. This is what you're doing. I don't like it.
Yes.
I don't feel good about this. I love that.
I love that too.
And my kids do it.
That's great.
And do it a lot. And not in a mean way, not to tear me down, but Dad, don't stop. I don't, and will tell me.
That is great. I think I have that relationship with my son, but maybe my wife says, Charlie's scared of you. My wife thinks that my son is scared of me, and it's like, and if that's true, that's sad to me because I hope that he can tell me.
Do you believe that? Do you believe he's scared of you?
I think that he thinks my opinion is important, but I don't think he's scared of me.
My wife will say to me when I don't do something or something like that, they go, you know, your kids think you like your friends better than they like you. And so I've asked them all.
Right.
And they know.
Right.
They know I love them. Outrageously I love them.
Right, of course.
And we'll do anything.
Of course.
And not just we'll do anything,
Yes.
do anything.
Right. Absolutely.
There's nothing that I wouldn't do. But that's one of her arguments.
A weapon. That was a weapon.
It's a weapon.
Yeah,
it's
I
a weapon.
understand.
Your kids think that they like your friends better than they like
if
you.
she had only talked to a therapist, she could, oh, wait, she is a therapist. Oh, no. Hold on a second.
Physician, heal thyself.
Exactly. All right. So the joy.
Look, it's us now.
Yeah.
Give me a cup of coffee for
Right.
2 hours with a friend.
Yeah.
There's nothing brings
Agreed.
me more joy.
By the way, that's the whole reason I started this podcast.
Yeah, nothing
Is that
brings me more joy.
I wanted to connect with people, and I thought it's important to have connection with people and to show
Yeah.
people that they should connect more with people for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So that's why it's don't be alone. The whole point is don't be alone.
Don't be alone. Which is why I said.
Right.
But a cup of coffee in a diner
Yeah.
alone.
Yes.
Blah.
Horrible.
What? Not only horrible.
Yeah.
Won't do it.
Right.
I refuse to do it. Give me 5, 10 people, so I'm not alone and I'm with friends and I feel love.
I've had to learn to do it, and as an exercise to do it, to learn to be okay with myself. In other words, to not just cover myself with conversation and friends, to sort of sit with myself, and which is hard for me.
Me too.
So,
And how many people do you ask when I say I would never eat in a restaurant? They go, I love.
Yeah, people
eating
do
in a
it.
restaurant."
People love it.
People love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think I have a huge ego, but that's not it.
Yeah.
I can't be alone with myself.
Right.
And you last night you're alone with Brown,
yeah, but that's not alone.
That's-
I'm with Brown.
but that's being alone. With her. No. I'm not kidding.
Right.
Not alone with yourself.
Right.
Alone as a unit.
Yes.
I'm not great with that either
Yeah.
yet.
All right.
I got a few years left.
Sure. You can do it.
Well,
You
now
can do
that
it.
I've lost weight and will live
Yes.
much longer.
You're 120.
And I really do say, I used to say, I want to live forever because I don't want to miss the movies and plays that will come out, and I don't want to miss them. Now I don't see so many movies. I see plays, but
Right.
I don't see that many movies. Then when my kids were born, I'd say, I don't want to die because I want to see my kids grow up. I want to see them be well. I want to be around them.
That's
but
good.
But yeah, it is. It's good.
Yeah, I want to die because there's certain kids I do not want to see what happens. That's really just like cut me off.
Also, the parts that I'm now getting to do,
Mm-hmm.
like I did a cop drama last year.
Yeah.
Loved it.
That's great.
I didn't have to pause for laughs. I
Right.
just got to be a human being.
Yeah.
I loved it. I
know.
loved it.
How many cases did you solve?
We were on for 26, maybe.
Okay, 26. Thank God. All right, Richard. Thank you for being here.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Joy.
Good. It's a joy for me.
Being with you. Do you remember the meal that we had after the?
I do. The groundlings, yeah.
That brought me joy.
Me too. I've had many moments of joy sitting around a table with
I
you,
do too.
either eating or playing poker,
Yep,
or
yep.
sitting with you. You're a delightful guy. Your ego is well deserved. Your friends love you to death. You know,
I think they do.
They do.
And I don't like being in poker so much. By the way, do you still love playing poker?
I do, but I don't love for the stakes that our
Me
friends.
neither.
Yeah.
That I do not
But
like.
I play in very inexpensive games and I have a great time.
You do. How much is inexpensive? $5.10?
Buy-in is, and one of the games I play, buy-in is $100.
I love that. I love that. Okay. The thing is, I can't have a lot of joy at a poker game because my anxiety and my desire to win, and this is a crazy thing. Winning $1,000 is great. Losing 15 kills me.
Yeah.
Okay, $1,000. Yeah, great. Who the fuck needs it? Losing 15
Right.
kills me.
Very Greek of you. That's the Greek that you play. Right there. Anyway, thank you for being here. I love you, and I hope to have you back again. Hopefully, sometime you'll do another play that you have to leave, and you'll come back here and do that.
May I tell you one other
Yes.
thing? You know what I hate? Going out to dinner one-on-one.
Really?
Hate it.
Why?
And yet we had this because we have topics of conversation because I don't know what we're going to talk about. I worry about it. It was always something I worried about with marriage, with going out on a date. What are we going to talk about? But we
Interesting.
knew what we were going to talk about here. But I don't
you
like
knew the
being
general
one-on-one.
area. You didn't know exactly what we were going to talk about.
I knew
the
a
general
little bit
area about authenticity, about saying things.
I knew we were going to talk about me.
Okay, that's right.
So
that you're
there
very
I'm
comfortable.
good. I'm good with that.
Okay, that's good.
But a date or
Right,
certainly
right.
not my marriage.
Right.
Not talking about
Okay,
me.
all right.
And I don't know what we'll always talk about.
All right.
And I'm never at a loss for words.
Do you think that's something you need to work on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
I think you can go to
So next time we do this, let's have two people or challenge me again. But we usually talk about me.
okay.
So it's easy.
This was talking about me and my problem, but it's okay. It's all
Oh,
good.
you had nothing
right.
to do with it.
All right.
It's all about me.
Love you, Richard. Thank you
I
for
love
being
you,
here.
Jay. I
Okay.
do. I love you.